So, I had a talk with one of my friends from high school. I'm a second year at university, and I talked to one of my friends, and he told me that he feels like he wasted all of high school and his first 2 years of college not ever experiencing romance or not ever experiencing his first heartbreak and learning from it and stuff like that. Um, and he's scared because he feels like people won't want him because he doesn't have experience, and they won't want him because it's hard for him to make connections because in his mind he proved to himself that he can't do that because he's never been there, and he sees that all his peers have been there, younger siblings have been there, and he hasn't. And I think that's a really, it's not terrible to think that, but I think you can definitely flip the script of that, right? This is one of my best friends, like ever. I've been in positions where I truly hated everyone in my life except for him and a few other people. And every time I needed help, I knew I could just call him, text him, whatever, and he would respond just like that. And it didn't matter what he was doing, he could put it down and talk to me about that. And so I told him that. I told him, if you can do that for me, I don't know why you don't think you can make a deep connection with a romantic partner either. I think that's it's a very easy thing to miss, you know? And so I think when you feed your mind negativity, like I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, it kind of forms your brain. And then you miss opportunities to do that because you don't believe it. And I've had this problem too, right? My first kiss was at 19. I did not, you know, I had some of those similar thoughts too. But I think something that changed that perspective was seeing that I had already made several deep connections in my life. I now realize I have a lot of friends in my life that support me the way that a partner would support me. I have friends that give me quality time the way I would want a partner to. And so I saw that and I was like, wow, I don't see why I can't do that with someone that I'm physically attracted to. And so I started to think like, what's really the difference here between meeting a friend and making a romantic connection? And realistically, I kind of realized, I think the issue was that when I went after someone I was attracted to, I was not really thinking about what they were saying, but I was thinking about, I don't think this person likes me just by default. My brain just defaulted to, I don't think this person likes me very much. And so in that, I felt as though I have to be perfect, if you will. And I would think about everything that I wanted to say while the other person was talking. And that's obviously a terrible thing. Um, I think you don't even let the conversation flow because in trying to be perfect, you're overcomplicating the situation. And I realized that all the friends that I made, I never thought of that. I never thought to try to be perfect like that. I would just listen to what they're saying, what they're interested in, and if there was a connection between that, and it would just keep going. But romantically, I could not see it that way. I saw it as like, this person is going to think I can't make a connection with you. And so a lot of the problem here is the belief and the overthinking. And I understand that it's very hard to shake that, but you don't really learn if you don't go and practice it yourself. For example, it doesn't have to be a full-on attempt. You can just be walking and say like, really like your shirt or something, and then what's your name? It's not really something that you have to go from 0 to 100 to right away. I mean, it's the same with anything, right? It all starts by gradually increasing how you interact. And another key point I want to point out is that my friend, as I said, he said he's really confused because he sees his sister is dating at 13, 14, one of those ages. And my friend's in his second year of college, and he's like, dang. It's like, dang, am I that behind? But I mean, at the same time, you can flip that script too, right? He's telling himself, wow, I'm a failure, but that's really not the case. And I told him, you know, I think it's easier as a younger sibling to know what you want out of a partner when you have an older sibling, as an example for that. And he never thought of it that way. He always thought of it like, I'm a failure. I don't know why my younger sibling is ahead of me. But that's really not the case. I mean, it's very easy for her to know what kind of man she wanted in her life because she'd seen a lot of quotable traits in my friend. And a lot of a lot of the time our perception kind of controls us. And in that moment, he let his perception of himself control him. But looking at it from the outside and looking at it from the flip side, it would kind of rewire how he perceives that situation. And if he can do that in that situation, he can look at his peers and say, okay, you know, maybe I'm not a failure, and maybe they just happen to learn these things faster than me, which is also very normal. And my friend has a lot of traits that a lot of the other peers that he knows probably do not have, and probably will not have for a while. And those friends probably think the same thing. They're like, why can't I get into an amazing school like he did? Why can't I make the dean's list all the time, have a 4.0 like he does, you know? I think a lot of time we see what other people do and we're like, why can't I do that? But realistically, you have your own niche and they have theirs. I think when you start comparing yourself in that way, that's when the negative thoughts really spiral in your head. And then you get to a point where you start believing, like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I can't XYZ. But I mean, part of that is you're comparing without seeing the practice they put, the effort they put, and you're comparing, and then you might not know what's going on in their life. You don't know if you have a trait that they wish they had. I think that's also playing into the perspective part, you know. A lot of the things your mind tells you can be true and can be not, but it's what you make of it. Yeah. I think I might cut this video here. This is my first one, but I think this was a very enjoyable video to make. I hope this helps maybe someone my age, someone a bit younger than me, or just realistically just anyone. But if you watch this whole thing, thank you a lot. Uh, I want to continue this moving forward, and if you guys could let me know any tips, anything you guys want to hear about, that'd be great.